guys, Mike Moo here. This video I'm sharing with you my Mogics Boost. It is a case that is made specifically for the MacBook 12. It doesn't matter what model because they're all the same body design. And the case is special because it gives you all the ports that you are missing on the MacBook, right? The MacBook only has one USB-C port in there when you buy it, of course. And what this does is it gives you a PD delivery system, which is basically gives you power delivery and allows you to get power directly into the unit while also getting a USB 3.0 port, a mini HDMI port, and on this side a USB 2.0 port, and of course a SD slot and a micro SD slot. So the version I have is the black one. They come in multiple choices of colors and skins. What I will say about this is that I got the black one. It's got this faux leather top, which I thought was a good idea at the time. But now that I see it and using it in person, it feels okay. It feels definitely like faux leather, just like advertised. But what I take issue with is that, first let me say that the price of this, I got this on Kickstarter, right? So this is not sponsored or endorsed by anybody. It's designed by a group, I believe LAR7, L-A-R-7, but it's under Mogics, so I believe they're one and the same design company. It's got some rubber feet down here. Circular is part of the design, but other than that, actually the unit feels really cheap. It really cheapens up your laptop, meaning the feel, the premium feel that you got when you paid for this Apple product, the design and everything's hidden in here, so it just looks like a really cheap little netbook. So, if that bothers you, this is definitely not the solution for you. It definitely doesn't look as sleek as when if you carry dongles around a lot. This is going to solve a lot of those issues that I had with it, missing USB ports, and of course the SD slot, because I shoot a lot of videos, shoot a lot of photos. I like to transfer a lot of things on USB flash, and I only have 512 gigabytes of storage on my MacBook. All right, so enough about the features. The features all work out okay. I've seen some other people report on the Kickstarter page that they've had some weird issues with it, and let me try to explain some of those first. So first of all, my unit was working. I did not have any issues with it starting out. However, the instructions weren't really that great. So let me explain a couple of things. It also has a built-in battery pack, which is supposed to give you 62% more battery life out of it. So it has more than, of course, 50% extra, 50% of the capacity. So that's hence that they came up with 62%. The reason why I'm a little disappointed is, and this is going to be true with any third-party solution, is that when it's delivering power through the unit, and to do that, there's a power button here. You got to press it and hold it down for maybe 2-3 seconds. See, then it powered on. Then now it's charging and powering it off. Is that the MacBook then switches over to the power mode that you set, as in you're running on full power off of AC adapter. So what happens there? Well, of course, the CPU clock speeds up. The screen brightens up a bit. It thinks that it's from AC power, so it's going to start consuming battery power more quickly. Right, so you're going to have to use a third-party app or something to go ahead and change if that bothers you or not. I tend to not like to work on this longer than a couple hours at a time. For that, I bring my bigger MacBook Pro 15 Retina, which I like a lot more in terms of typing and screen real estate. But if you're being portable, you need some ports. You don't want to plug in a bunch of dongles. This works out okay. Just realize you're not going to experience, without doing anything else and just using it, the extra 50 to 62% battery life, just simply for that reason alone. Okay, the other things is that of course it needs to power the ports, right? The USB ports. It needs to power your SD slots, right? So it has that you got to take care of. So I'm gonna guess that you're gonna be slightly disappointed in how quickly there's a battery indicator here, by the way, which is four indicator lights. So that lets you know roughly how much battery you have left in the extra battery that you get for the case. All right, so there's that one issue. The other thing is that it has the SD card slots, and I have a full 256 gigabytes in there. That's the biggest card I have. Plug it in there, no problem whatsoever. The thing you got to know is that you actually have to partially power that on in order to access all these extra ports. And you do that by just pressing this button once over here, and that powers it on. And if there's something in here while the laptop is on, it'll also power on the USB ports. However, the ports apparently automatically shut off after 10 minutes of non-use to save battery power. So that goes for the SD slot, right? So if you don't have this whole thing all powered on, which I recommend that you do, in case you have anything there you need to access, or you're working on some sort of file and you're not accessing it for 10 minutes or something, or it doesn't lock it down, it's just going to disconnect. All right. So a best case scenario is if you're going to be working on it, you expect to be working on any external ports, USB, flash storage, whatever devices. Leave the unit in the state that you have it. Don't plug and unplug things while it's on power, unpower, and this will help you prevent from losing any data. Okay, so I'll say that. So what I'm saying is the integration is not as smooth as something that you would get that was maybe working with Apple or with Apple licensing. So it's a little bit kludgy. All right, besides the cheap feeling of the case and the fit and finish of it doesn't really fit very well. As you can see, look at that. See that? It doesn't exude great design on this part. The fit and finish isn't that great. And it's two-piecer, by the way, in case you were wondering. This also comes off really easily. This could have been done better as well. But for $140, it's a pretty good value. And so far since I've used it, or since I got it, which was, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago, maybe? 2-3 weeks ago from Kickstarter. I've kept it on the MacBook. I feel like it's good enough for me to go ahead and use day to day. It cheapens it up, so it's less of a, if you want to look at it that way, it's less of a target for theft because it looks like a cheap MacBook now. On the negative side, it does pretty much, it doubles the size of the MacBook. But for that, you don't have to mess with the ports. You get an extra battery, you get 2 extra USB ports, 1 USB 3, and more importantly, I also get the SD slot at the same time. One other concern that hasn't been an issue for me yet is that this will affect your thermal capabilities of the MacBook. Right, you're putting a cover on top of it. You got a whole battery pack in there. This whole bottom piece has this aluminum base structure that's for strength, but you can't help but know that this is also insulates all that heat in there. So your MacBook's going to get a little bit warmer. That may or may not affect your battery life, depending on not just your battery life, but the entire life of the entire MacBook, depending on how you use it, what kind of throttling you use, whether you use anything to override the throttling and power capabilities of your MacBook. Okay, so be careful. This is something you got to be careful of, is to make sure that you adjust the appropriate power settings. And I caution you to make some changes to the power system settings so that when you close the lid, the unit actually goes to sleep. Otherwise, it's just going to keep adding power as if you just had it plugged in. So then that would be completely counterintuitive in that when you're taking it ready to go, you're thinking of all this battery power, but then you found out your Mac was actually running down all the power because it thought that you were plugged into the wall. All right, that's it for this video. I'm sorry this ended up being a little bit long. I felt like I needed to talk about some of the issues of this and things that I would have liked to know when I was backing the project. I think this is going to be available for sale sometime later. If it does show up on Amazon, I will send a link there. If not, please check out my basic Amazon link. And if you buy anything, that helps support my channel, my work, and my videos. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.